Welcome, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Burrito. I am your host, Dirt Shingleberry, and joining me is a man who knows how to go with his gut, Scott Zipperman. How you doing today, Zip?
Well, the gut's feeling a little off, but I'm mostly okay. Scott's here though.
Scott is here. How's your week been? It's been a little while since we've talked. I want to, what have you been up to?
It's been yeah, actually not too exciting. It's mostly just been work and working at a warehouse and being busy boy, and so it's mostly just going home and like reading a book and falling asleep, and then waking up and eating.
Yeah, one thing is we do have day jobs. We don't get to just talk fantasy football every single day for our entire life as much as we want to. But yeah, same about me. I go to work. I wake up. I work nights, so I go to work and I go to sleep pretty much right whenever I get home. Wake up and I hang out with the kids. I watch some stuff on TV, just relax.
Yeah, that's one of the crazy things about this week is I have not watched like any TV. It's been the weirdest thing.
Good for you.
I
There's
don't know.
always kids shows on my TV. I'm watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Dora the Explorer, Team Umizoomi. I have learned so much from these kids shows than I have in a long time.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, my daughter and we just got my Fire Stick set up in our kids' room, and my daughter does not like any of the new shows. All she will watch is the old shows like Dora the Explorer, Team Umizoomi, Little Einsteins, like all the shows that were on. Not the new brand new stuff that's out.
Yeah, she knows what good quality is.
Yeah, she just will not watch any, like, oh, look, this new Netflix show looks good. You want to watch this? No. Umizoomi. I'm like, oh, okay.
Umazumi's a fun name. I don't even know. I'm not even aware of what shows are coming out now for kids. Is it all like bad CGI?
No, they're going kind of back to more regular animation, in my opinion,
Ah,
which is good.
that is good. That is good.
Because those weird CGI shows are kind of, they're weird. Like
I
whenever
s-
they did it with, what was it? Was it Powerpuff Girls got a weird like CGI kind of show?
I remember something coming out. I
Yeah,
never saw it though.
yeah.
If you want a cool cartoon show, you should watch that Primal show. Have you heard of that
Primal.
one?
No,
It's
I
by the
haven't.
it's by the dude who did a Samurai Jack, and it's about a caveman who teams up with a T-Rex,
Oh, that does sound interesting.
and it's brutal, man.
Okay, so it's more adult focused.
Yes, it's
Okay.
more. It's brutal like football,
Oh,
which
okay.
and it's in a fantasy world kind of thing. So fantasy
So
football.
going full
Uh,
circle here.
yep, we're back on topic.
So one thing I've actually been doing this week is I've been watching a lot of Twitch streams. It all started because of Barstool Sports. Big Cat started his NCAA football franchise, and he's getting a lot of followers and a lot of people. Like team universities are getting involved in it. They told the University of Toledo, who he's playing with now, told him that if he wins the national championship with Toledo, the mayor will give him a key to the city. So it's pretty interesting. And I've been watching that a lot. And then whenever he ends, he only plays like one game at a time. I started like, I really like watching people play NCAA football, and I found this great streamer. His name is Obi's Opinion. That's OBS Opinion, and he's great. He's a young kid. He just started off, and whenever I first started watching him, he only had like a few people watching him. Like the streams would steadily be like 10 people at a time. And then a big streamer ended up, they do what's called rating, where they take everybody watching your people and they put him in somebody like a person lesser known. And he got rated a couple nights ago, and his stream just, blew up compared to what it was. So I just wanted to he listens to the show. So I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. If any of you guys watch stream, you watch Big Cat and you want some more entertainment after Big Cat, go and check out Obi's Opinion. He's a good kid. And
Exciting stuff. Thank you for the shout out too, by the way.
yeah, he shouted us out on his stream a couple times now, and so I wanted to return the favor. And really, if anybody listening here watches Twitch stream and you miss NCAA Football 14 and you can't get your hands on it because the cheapest you can find it for is like $120, go and live vicariously through Obi's Opinion. You can follow him on Twitter also. His Twitter handle is the same thing. But yeah, just thank you again, Obi, for the shout out. Thank you for listening. So I'm going to try to push people your way as well.
For sure. This is like one huge community, right? We all want to
Oh,
help each other out.
Oh yeah, and his stream is a big community too because you get on there and there's people that I was talking to last night that are on there watching again. We have nothing better to do during quarantine than to watch Twitch streams and watch stuff like that.
Hey man, NCAA 14, you just bought that again, didn't you?
I did. I spent $120, unfortunately. Which
yeah, when you
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say when you told me that, I got this joy. I was like, oh man, we can reclaim our childhood in a way.
Oh yeah, it's the worst thing is I sold my copy of it probably about a year or two ago because it was a old 2014 football game that was still going for $60 whenever you need to sell it, and I was strapped for cash like a year or two ago, and I was like, well, this is an easy $60 I can get. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And then I saw how much it's going for now, and I've been watching people play it. I'm like, oh, I really want to play it. And I was like, you know what? For a chance to relive that happiness, that what I missed so much, I'm going to pay the $120. I have no issue with that.
Hey, do it, man. Treat yourself. I've seen people buy coats that cost $300. So
yeah,
really, it's all fun. It's whatever you spend your money on what you want to spend it on.
Exactly. If it makes you happy, then do it.
YOLO.
I really wish I could have cut you off before you said YOLO.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say it quite often because it's the truest thing ever.
So
wait, that's not true. Actually, I don't really believe that. You probably live multiple lives.
Yeah, that's a different podcast for a different day, I think.
Yep. Talk to you soon.
So another thing I wanted to bring up, we briefly discussed this before the show, but I'm just going to throw it out there because I am a huge Seahawks fan. ESPN.
Boo! Zip hates the sea, and any bird that flies over it.
ESPN released their top NFL teams of the decade, so that's 2010 to 2019. And here's the top 5. Number 1, the 2013 Seattle Seahawks. Number 2, the 2010 New England Patriots. Number 3, the 2015 Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, the 2012 Seattle Seahawks. And number 5, the 2019 Baltimore Ravens. So that I'm just going to pose this question. Even though they only had 1 Super Bowl win and 2 Super Bowl appearances, were the Seahawks the best franchise of the 2010s?
That's debatable, man, and that's why you asked it.
Yep. I'll tell you what, as a Seahawks fan, the 2010s have been the most fun I've had watching the Seahawks, especially with Russell Wilson under center. With Russell, the Seahawks always have a chance to win, no matter how much they're down by. It seems like he can always bring it back to at least a 1-score game.
That is a true statement. I would agree with that. They have been exciting, and so if you based off like just pure excitement, then for sure they're the best NFL team of the decade. Maybe even the next decade. We'll see.
I don't know what grounds they really base the best teams off of, and I'm assuming it's like roster and performance in the regular season more than the end of season result. And the Seahawks were steadily, up until the Rams came around and the Niners came around, were one of the most dominant teams in the NFC West and always had a solid roster. And it always seems like they could turn around their roster whenever they lose stars.
For sure.
But if I was arguing based off the team success, I think I would honestly, even as a Seahawks fan, give the best team of the decade to the New England Patriots because they brought home how many titles in the last 10 years?
They've been steadily consistent for a while. When did Pete Carroll become the coach?
Oh, for the Seahawks?
Yeah.
I think that was around 2009 or 2010. I should have looked that up beforehand.
No, that sounds about right, though.
I remember I was working at my first job ever at Kmart, and I got the notification on my phone that Seattle fired Jim Mora, and they were in talks with and all it said was a top college coach to come and be their coach. And I'm sitting here going, please be Pete Carroll, Pete Carroll, because I loved his USC teams.
Oh, yeah, they were fun. Yeah.
But, all right, so I just wanted to touch on that, brag about my Seahawks having 3 of the top 5 best teams of the decades. And
I just don't know how well you can trust this even. Not one Tampa Bay team on there.
Well, Tampa Bay hasn't been good in the last 10 years.
That's debatable, maybe. I don't know. I'm a new fan.
New fan, okay. Well, going from, Freeman, Winston, Fitzpatrick, their quarterback hasn't been steady. And I think
Warren Sapp.
I think he retired before 2010. He might not have.
But he is a Tampa Bay boy.
He is a Tampa Bay boy. So this show today, we're going to be going through our top 10 tight ends. We just decided to cut the tight ends a little short because after that, we're going to bring you guys a mock draft. We're going to do a mock draft head-to-head against each other, kind of talk out our thought process as we're doing it. And at the end, I'll take a picture of both teams, and you can vote on who had the better team on Twitter.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's exciting.
So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the tight end so we can get through this and bring you that mock draft fun even sooner. So I'm going to start it off today, and I'm going to go my number 10 tight end going into the 2020 season is Noah Fant.
Ooh.
He was one of the most exciting tight ends down the stretch. He has breakaway speed. Drew Lock's coming into his second year, and he's going to have his first full year starting, and they brought Pat Shurmur in as their offensive coordinator. Pat Shurmur's not a great NFL head coach, but he has done good things with NFL offenses. Right now, I'm actually going to make Noah Fant one of my breakout players coming in. I'm sure we'll do a whole episode about our favorite breakout players, but I'm calling him now breakout. He's going in the 10th round, 8th pick in most mocks. If you can get a starting tight end in the 10th round, you're not going to argue with that at any time, because then you can fill up more positions before you even take your tight end.
Very true. Very true. I agree with this because you'll find out later why. But for my number 10, I'm going with Mr. Hayden Hurst.
Oh,
he is now a Falcon, and he's at the bottom of my list because he's a mystery, but anything feels possible with him. He's kind of he hasn't really done much or lived up to his first round status, but the fact that he was a first round pick is proof that he had some skill worthy of being in the NFL. So now that he's finally on a productive offense with playmakers all around him, I imagine he could, kind of break out suddenly. And just that possibility is what excites me about him. And, that's why he's 10, because he could be nothing. He could be nothing. And that's why he's 10. But I love that 50-50 chance which he just has the perfect example of that. So reach for the stars and maybe you'll
grab one.
Maybe grab a star. I don't know what you. Yep.
All
Number
right.
10.
Number
Hurst.
9 for me, I'm going to stick in the same division. I'm going to go Mr. Jared Cook. Jared Cook is not a sexy pick by any imagination because his numbers last year are probably going to be about the same this year. He had 9 touchdowns last year on 700 yards, and it felt like he didn't do much in the first half of the season, and then he'd randomly have a game where he got 2 or 3 touchdowns. For a tight end, 9 touchdowns is the best number you could really ask for. He's a value pick. He's going 1 pick right before Noah Fant. He's going at 10-7. So, yeah, Jared Cook is also – sorry, I'm hearing you click around in there.
Sorry.
Jared Cook is my number 9 tight end. So go ahead for your number
9. Number 9 for me is a classic skip tight end. It's a Mike Gesicki. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Gesicki.
Sweet. He seems like he's one of those under the radar players. He's just been slowly itching his way towards a full-blown awakening. And I think he's coming close to that. This season could be the season. He ended that season with just 51 receptions and 570 yards with 5 touchdowns. But look at these last 9 games of his, okay? He scored 15.50, 3.880, so that's a dud. 580, dud. 1180, pretty good. 1890, great. 160, dud. 870, solid. 2620, wow, that's his potential. 1340, decent. So look at that. That's got you just look at those, and if he can get a little bit more consistent, the sky is the limit for this man, and it's a solid boy. And I gotta stop calling everyone a boy. I kind of hate that. I'm gonna start referring to them as humans
or men.
Or men. Yes, men's probably the right way. Everyone from now on, can you go back and every time I've said boy, just say man?
I'll try. I can't guarantee that.
I know. I was
just hear my awkward voiceover. Man.
That would be great, actually. Yes. Where was I? So, the team's been getting better and better, and they've finally got stability, it looks like, with a solid coach. And this could be the season that Miami, reaches a new level. And if that happens, I imagine he will too.
Yeah.
So number 9, tight end, Mike Gesicki.
All right. So number 8 for me is Tyler Higbee. Higbee finally took over the starting tight end spot last year for the Rams, and he excelled once he got the full the full run of the mill. Once he finally was not really competing with Everett so much for the catches, and Goff finally settled in and started throwing to him, he excelled. He had 700 yards last year and 3 touchdowns, and I don't think he even started taking over till near the end of last year.
No.
And when he did, he was like the hottest ad on for the tight end market on every league, because it was like, oh my gosh, the Rams finally got a tight end they'll throw to. We need him.
Right.
And I mean, they've been able to support 3 receivers with Cooks, who's gone to the Texans now, Woods, and Cup. And now if they can add a tight end to that list, or even if Higbee takes over for what Cooks is, takes over some of his target share, then I would expect a pretty big breakout year for Tyler Higbee this year.
Oh, for sure. His last 5 games he was scoring over 15 points every time.
Yeah,
in the 20s.
I honestly say, unless you get one of the top tight ends that we're going to talk about later, if your tight end gets you over 10 points, you got a good week from your tight end.
Yeah, that's how I look at tight ends too. 10 is like so I want that.
Yeah,
that's what I expect. Anything else is great. But
that's 40 yards and a touchdown. That's all. Honestly, if you get that touchdown from your tight end, you feel better about it.
Exactly. I love Higbee. For some reason, he's not on my list, but I love him. Number 8 for me is going to be your number 10, Noah Fant.
Damn,
and
okay.
This could just be a little biased because I do own him in my Dynasty League.
Yes.
And so, I want him to be good. But I just love his situation. He's in that young offense. He's got young, intriguing talent all around him. Drew Lock, second year. This is going to be a fun team to watch. And I just imagine Fant can do some special things if everything clicks together down there in Denver, Colorado.
And he has breakaway speed, so if he can get the ball in his hands, he's in open field. Good luck bringing that man down, too.
Yep, he'll just gallop onto the touchdown zone.
All right, so speaking of number 7, you said your number 8 was my number 10. Well, my number 7 is your number 9. Mike Gesicki is my number 7. I think with Chan Gailey coming in as their offense coordinator, and with Ryan Fitzpatrick probably starting the season as their quarterback, Gesicki has all the physical tools. He was the combine stud of 3 years ago whenever he got drafted. So coming into his 3rd season right now, you want to see him finally put it all together, which he started to last year. He only started 5 games last year. If he can put it all together, and he did in those 5 games, all 16, or at least even a fraction of it, he's going to be even better than what that 10-point threshold we put for our tight ends.
I 100% agree with you. I love that he's higher on your list. Because this man is he's gonna do some special things, I think.
Yeah, I like Gesicki. If I leave my draft, and that's another thing I want to add. Mike Gesicki's going in the 12th round of drafts, so you could almost punt on your tight end for most of the draft and then catch him in the 12th round.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does, like I said, a fraction of what he did last year, then you're happy. You don't need a tight end for the rest of the year as long as he stays healthy. You just need a bye week tight end.
Yep, I love it. It's a good strategy going with Gesicki.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we're on 7 now?
Yes. I just gave my 7.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So you're up for 7.
Okay. This one was an interesting one because when I was making my list, I kind of just tossed him on there, and then I didn't know why. But number 7 is Darren Waller.
Okay.
I know he had a pretty great season last year. He came out of nowhere, seemingly came out of nowhere.
Well, he had some personal issues that he dealt with. I believe he was dealing with drug abuse, and he was actually a wide receiver, I believe, on the Baltimore Ravens. And then he got signed after he got reinstated and got his stuff together by the Raiders. And the Raiders saw his size and his strength, and they said, "You're going to be a tight end for us."
That's awesome. So that makes me even more excited for him because now he's got this coming up story, like perseverance and growing and so now I'm just thinking, okay, he's figured it out. He's 100% dedicated, and this Raiders team has always been kind of interesting these past couple seasons.
Oh yeah, with Gruden and Mayock.
Yeah, they always feel like they could just be good, and then something happens and they're just kind of mediocre.
Well, I'll tell you what happens. They're in the same division as the Chiefs.
Yes, you're right. That makes it tough. But yeah, Waller,
Okay, I like Waller.
Take him when you can if you want him. He's gonna be good.
Well, he is a little higher on my list, so I'll speak a little bit more on him, whenever we
Cool.
get there. So number 6 for me is Evan Ingram.
Ooh.
Ingram only played in about 8 games last year. Which is half the season. He caught for 467 yards and 3 touchdowns. So if you double that, he's looking at about 900 yards and 6 touchdowns, and that would have put him in the top tight end range. If he can stay healthy, his speed, he's basically just another receiver lining up on the end. He is faster than most linebackers. He's bigger than most safeties. With Joe Judge coming in from New England and Jason Garrett coming in as their offensive coordinator from Dallas, both those teams like their tight ends. I honestly think Evan Ingram's in for a big year this year, so I have him at number 6 for me.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? With Evan Ingram, who happens to be my number 6 also.
Oh, very nice.
I mean, we kind of have that outlook for him every year. We think this is the year he's going to have a big year because he's got it all. And we've seen the flashes, but he happens to be like one of the most up and down tight ends. I was looking at all of his stats, and they're all like, it's like either 20 points or like below 10, or he's injured. And so he's got this like enticing, you just know it could be something really great.
He's the prime example of you have to take a chance on the talent.
Right, exactly. And that's why he's consistently in the top 10. I mean, he's outside the top 5, I think, just because it's been happening so many, right? 3 years now, 2 years. That's all. And but still, you take him because you don't want to not have him when he does get it all together.
Yeah, and a lot of people are shying away from him for, his injury concerns and stuff. So you can get him in like the 7th round. And, I keep talking about values. I look for the value tight ends more than I look for reaching for the top tight ends.
Yeah.
That's me personally. So I understand people have the other idea for that.
Occasionally it's fun to just take Travis Kelce or something.
Yeah, I get that.
but yeah, it is. I see that the strategy seems to be more in favor of late tight ends, collecting talent.
So number 5 for me is Zach Ertz. He has been a steady part of that Philadelphia offense for a long time. And, you can make the argument that he needs to be higher because they still don't really have any receivers other than Alshon Jeffrey, who's always hurt. I believe he might even start the year on the PUP list. But what I see with with Ertz is I feel like Dallas Goedert, who's younger, is going to start taking more and more from him. And Zach Ertz has done it for so long, and he's taken such a beating. I just feel like, and this is all my gut, I just feel like he's going to start taking a step back. He was a 900-yard receiver with 6 touchdowns. Those are good numbers. You want that on your team. And as long as Wentz can stay healthy, he'll finish higher than 5. But for me, on my personal rankings, I have him at 5.
Nice, yeah. For number 5 for me is Mark Andrews.
Okay.
And this one's just pretty easy. I mean, he's top 5 cut and dry. You take him because he's got a connection with Jackson, and that offense is going to be great all the time. And Jackson likes to throw to Andrews, and Andrews likes to score a touchdown. So it's just number 5. I don't know why. I think maybe because I like these other 2 a little bit more for different reasons. But Mark Andrews.
Okay,
so he's good. He's going to do you solid.
So number 4 for me is Darren Waller. His first year as a full-time tight end, he had 1,100 yards and 90 catches. The only thing with him is you want to see his touchdown numbers get up a little bit more. He did have 11 touchdown targets or 11 red zone targets. He only scored on about 3 of them. So you want to see him, or I think he only scored on, he had 3 touchdowns. Maybe he scored all 3 of them. I don't remember now that I'm thinking about the stats that I was looking up. But either way, in his second year in that offense, second year as a full-time tight end, I have a good feeling that his numbers are going to be going up.
Darren Waller, I believe in that too. Number 4 for me is your number 5, Zach Ertz. Now, originally I was pretty iffy on Ertz. I don't know. I struggled to find his place until I thought about how the Eagles added like a lot of new blood to the offense, a lot of mystery, questionable, talent. But the hope is for me is that some of that new offense clicks and things start rolling again for the Eagles. Because I mean, Ertz last year on that really crappy offense did very good.
Yeah.
And so if this offense can just kind of figure some things out and get some new playmakers, I'm hoping the attention can kind of go everywhere and leave Ertz room to do his Ertz thing.
whenever I was doing my Ertz research, I did see that the Philadelphia offense does throw to their tight end 40% of the time, but they also run a lot of 2 tight end sets.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's split between Goddard and Ertz, but
Right.
Ertz will be a good tight end, no doubt about. He's going to be a top tight end for next year.
Yeah. Yeah. All of these are so like at this point they're all interchangeable. I feel like.
Yeah. Number 3 for me is Mark Andrews, and for pretty much all the reasons you said. He had 10 touchdowns last year. The only issue, I almost rated him lower because he doesn't play on all the snaps for the Ravens. They have so many tight ends on the field, and they have to manage his snaps because he's a type 1 diabetic, so he has to go to the sideline a lot and check his blood sugar, which is not a knock on him by any means of his athletic performance and what he does every year. It's just that he can't be on the field as much as an Ertz or Kittle, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, in fantasy football, you want someone who is going to be on the field the most.
You want the opportunity, you want the plays. But what Mark Andrews did last year was amazing, didn't you? We do something with each other called burger bets.
Yes.
Didn't you have a burger bet with somebody about Mark Andrews, and didn't you win it?
I had a burger bet with Alex over Mark Andrews would score more than George Kittle.
Yeah, and you won it by a little bit, and it was mainly because Andrews scored 10 touchdowns.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I just say wild things to anger my friends, and that's what that was.
Hey, you won a burger bet with me 2 years ago with Tyreek Hill versus DeAndre Hopkins, and I think you only won it by like 1 point.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm going to get 2 burgers out of this.
You already got the one for me.
Yeah, I can't wait for the second one.
All right, so let's hear your number 3.
Number 3, I'm curious to know if he's even on your list, but I don't know why he's at 3. I just think he's going to be fun. Austin Hooper.
Hooper, number 3. Wow.
I know. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. But did you look? I mean, I just like looking at his stats. I remember he was doing so great. He missed a couple games. He had 2 games where he scored 5 points back to back when he came back. Those were his only 2 duds. Everything else after that was over 10 points and went from 15 to 20s. And yes, he's in. My only concern is he's in a new team, new offense. It's Cleveland, so it can always be bad. But if let's just say that maybe what if Cleveland finally figures their stuff out and Hooper gets to really be what Hooper was in Atlanta, but with Cleveland. Go on.
Oh, I do like Hooper. I like him as a talent. He's not on my top 10, but
he's not on a lot of tops. I looked.
The only issue I have with him is Baker. If we get the Baker of his rookie year, then maybe there's a chance. Cleveland does need some help blocking Baker, which they drafted Wills in the second. Just Baker needs to do better on getting to his tight end read. He's what he struggled with last year is if his first and his second read aren't there, he breaks down, tries running it, and that's where they gave up so many sacks last year.
Yeah, this is the year Baker breaks out.
Okay, he's calling it now.
That's a zip guarantee.
Zip guarantee. Didn't we get one last episode too?
Probably. I'll have to start keeping track.
Yep. Okay, number 2 for me is George Kittle.
Yeah, and at this point, this is okay. Yeah,
yeah. I can just give you my 2 and 1: George Kittle and Travis Kelce. I'm not even gonna flirt around it there.
Yeah.
Kittle is a man. The way he runs with the ball, he runs every play like he's trying to score. Every single time he gets the ball in his hands, he is putting his head down and going to the end zone. He plays till the whistle. He's so much fun to watch, and he loves his fantasy owners. Did you see that play? I think it was last year or 2 years ago whenever they had a review and he said to the other player, I had to score that touchdown. My fantasy owners need it.
Yeah, I do. That was great.
So Kittle is a player that not only wants to score and win, he wants you to score and win too. And I'm a Seahawk fan. I keep saying it. I can't stand the Niners, but I love me some George Kittle.
Right. You're gonna so for me I wanted to pick. I don't know. It's so like it's one of these 2, and they can be so interchangeable. And I just ended up going with Kittle also at 2. I almost went with 1, but you'll find out that Chief dynamic just kind of tips the scale in Kelsey's favor. But Kittle is just as good. It's just maybe the offense scares you a little bit more than the Chiefs, and so you go with that. But everything you said about Kittle is basically, what else can I add to it? Kittle, not only does he have a cool name, he's got a cool talent, and he's number 1 he's basically a number one tight end too. So, but he's listed here as 2. But numbers can lie.
Yeah, and if you win the year, and all that really would push it over is if Kittle gets 3 more touchdowns to what Kelsey, because Kelsey and Kittle finished last year with both 5 touchdowns. If Kittle gets 3 more touchdowns and he's over the limit, he's probably number 1 tight end over Kelsey.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun watching these 2 compete for top tight end.
Yeah, and then so my Kelsey, as you said, he's my number. As we said earlier, he's my number 1. And you want a piece of that Chiefs offense, and you want a player that's been in that Chiefs offense and knows it so well that he's been the number 1 tight end for 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
He's dominated. He's another one that's just unblockable. His size puts him over the limit. He's faster than most tight ends. He's athletic, and whenever he gets the ball in his hands, he does some pretty great things. He's very shaky and shifty, and he can put his head down and run right through you. And with Mahomes throwing it, Travis Kelce is unstoppable in that offense.
Right.
I mean, he's one of those players. Whenever I'm lining up, whenever I look at my matchups, I always go, okay, quarterback, okay, I win this one. Receiver, one, you get that one. Okay, I get this. And then if I'm going against somebody who I see has Travis Kelce, I'm like, oh, well, I lost this matchup. I know that he's putting up 20 on me.
Right. Yeah. You don't even look at who you have starting. Well, okay. Well, great. Number 1. My number 1 is Rob Gronkowski.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh my God.
And
so Kelsey's not even on your list?
No, he's what? He's like 30 now. He's old news. Gronk though has had a year off, and I'm just kidding you. It's Kelsey. Kelsey's number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what else do I need to say again? These 2 are so obvious. Kelsey, Chiefs offense. Patrick Mahomes. Bada bing, bada boom.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break right now. Like I said, we just finished our top 10 tight ends. Whenever we get back from our break, we are going to get into this mock draft, and we're going to explain to you guys our thought process as we go through with it. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Burrito. You're with me again, Dirt Shingleberry, and my co-host here, Scott Zipperman. Zip,
Hi.
Are you ready for this mock draft?
Boy, am I ready. I love a good mock draft. This is something I love to do to just ease the mind.
We are going to be going head-to-head here after the mock draft. I'm going to post pictures on my Twitter with a poll, and you guys can tell me who you think had a better team.
That's going to be so fun. I love polls.
So the way this mock draft is 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, a flex position, which is wide receiver, running back, or tight end, 5 bench spots. And just for the sake of, the audio mock draft, you don't need to hear how we pick kickers and defenses, so I took them out.
Out of there. Who needs them?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started. And this is a half-point PPR league. So, redraft, half-point PPR.
Good to know. Thank you. And did you tell us what picks we got?
Oh, that's right. I did a random number generator before we started recording today. And I have pick 6, and Zip, you have pick 8.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting. One random computer in between us.
All right, so we just started off in McCaffrey, Elliott, Dalvin Cook at 3, Derrick Henry at 4, and then Saquon falls all the way to 5. I wouldn't have seen that coming.
I'm unprepared for this. I've been only doing dynasty mocks.
Yeah, I haven't done a redraft mock in a while, so let us shake off the rust a little bit. So I'm sitting here, and there's 2 players that I'm deliberating between. I'm deliberating between Alvin Kamara or my number 1 receiver, Devontae Adams. Me personally, in a redraft, I like to get the stud running back early, at least one of them, and try to see what receivers fall to me. So I'm going to take Alvin Kamara, who I think could be in for a big year. He was my running back 4 on my list. So, and then right after right after Alvin Kamara goes Josh Jacobs, and now Zip, you're up at 8. What are you thinking?
Well, what I'm thinking is I'm pretty sad because I was very excited at the possibility of getting Josh Jacobs. I would have been totally happy with that. By the way, Alvin Kamara, no one will falter for taking him anywhere in the draft.
No.
So let's see here. I am stuck with picking between a top stud wideouts like Michael Thomas, Hopkins, Hill, or there's Joe Mixon or Chubb. Let me look down the running backs real quick. Very exciting. Okay, what I'm thinking, I'm definitely thinking I'm going with running back just because I've been so bad at drafting running backs and I kind of want to change that up. So I'm going with Joe Mixon. I think I'm excited for that offense as young as it is, but I'm hoping that things can go to the next level.
Okay, and then right after Mixon, we get a big old long run of receivers. We had DeAndre Hopkins go at 9, in front of Michael Thomas at 10.
I agree with that.
Devontae Adams at 11, Julio Jones at 12, and then on the turnaround at 2-1 was Miles Sanders, then Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes goes off the board in this at 2-3, and then Aaron Jones at 2-4. Now you're up again with your 2-5.
This is exciting because the other player I was kind of looking at was Nick Chubb. So I'm really considering Nick Chubb here. But I'm going to take a look at the wide receivers. And we got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp. Oh man, you know what? Let's I'm gonna do it. I'm taking Chubb. I'm going double running back for once.
And then right after Chubb goes Lamar Jackson at 2-6 right in front of me. So you went running back. How do you feel about that strategy?
I'm nervous. I don't do it often. I'm
Okay.
scared to see but I'm excited to see what wide receivers I can get.
So I am kind of the same way. I like to go running back receiver depending on how the draft falls. I am going to take a look at what running backs I can pair with Kamara, and right now it looks like I could grab. Hold on, my app is not. So it looks like I can get Kenyon Drake, Austin Eckler, or a Melvin Gordon, but I'm actually going to go receiver here because Chris Godwin, who I actually wanted, I've never had him, and I'm a big fan of Chris Godwin. I think he's going to be doing pretty well in the slot there in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady throwing, and I believe he was like my number 5 receiver. So I'm going to take Chris Godwin. So I have Kamara and Godwin. Then right after him goes Kenyon Drake, Mike Evans, Travis Kelce, Melvin Gordon, Adam Thielen to round out the second round. And then right after that, to start the third, I'm having some technical difficulties here. Here we go. George Kittle, Kenny Golladay, Amari Cooper, Austin Eckler, Leonard Fournette, and I'm back on the clock at 3-6.
Oh, baby. Can't wait to see who you take.
Yeah, me too. I can scroll up. I'm having some issues here. So I'm actually going to be looking running back because I like to get at least 2 running backs in my first couple picks. One of the guys I am a big fan of, and I'm a Seahawk fan. I'm not worried about the Carlos Hyde signing. I'm going to take Chris Carson here with the numbers he gets, the amount of carries he gets. I think it's a pretty solid pick as my running back too.
Yeah, Chris Carson, solid.
And then you have Devin Singletary go right after, and you're back up with your 3rd round pick.
So I'm pretty much guaranteed to take a wide receiver here. And so I'm thinking my favorite one that is available off the top of the board pretty much is DK Metcalf. And I'm looking, and I'm going to take DK Metcalf because as you all know, I picked him as a top wide receiver, and I'm happy with him to pair with my 2 running backs.
Okay, so we each have 2 running backs and a receiver. Then after DK goes...
Ooh, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. After DK goes Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, David Johnson in the 3rd round. See how he does in Houston. Cooper Kupp rounds out the 3rd round. Then Mark Ingram, Calvin Ridley, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and David Montgomery, and you're back up.
And see, who I also was deciding between DK was A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown fell to me, so I am 100% content with that.
Okay.
Easy pick.
So I have 2 running backs, and then right after A.J. Brown goes Todd Gurley. Should throw that in there. I already have 2 running backs. I had 1 receiver. So at this point, I'm going to kind of look at the running backs that are there and see if there's anybody I'm comfortable with flexing. If there's not, then I'm going to take a receiver here. I'm going to look down the list, and one of my favorite receivers is actually still on the board, and I'm going to take him here, Keenan Allen. I'm not too worried about the rookie quarterback or Tyrod Taylor coming in. I think he's just too good of a player to pass up and to take too much of a hit.
Keenan Allen is one of those players, if you ever are on your team, you feel confident.
Yep. So after Keenan Allen went Allen Robinson, Mark Andrews, so we have 3 tight ends off the board. Kyler Murray, Robert Woods, T.Y. Hilton. We had Tyler Lockett going, which DK went before Tyler Lockett. That's, we'll see how that goes out. Juju Smith-Schuster, DJ Moore, Jonathan Taylor, another rookie back, and DJ Shark. And now I'm back up with my 5th round pick. And again, I like to just fill out my running backs and wide receivers, try to get some depth.
Yeah.
The person I'm kind of debating right now between Odell Beckham Jr. as my wide receiver 3. That's a pretty good combo. You still have Mostert on the board, Geis, who's coming off an injury. I think I'm actually going to lean towards, and let's just see the tight end that's available is Zach Ertz and Darren Waller. Again, I don't like to go tight end too early. I like to get my 2 running backs and 3 receivers first. I'm going to take Odell. I just have a feeling that he's going to have a bounce back year in Cleveland this year. He's too good of a player to have too many bad years in a row. And then right after Odell Beckham Jr. goes is AJ Green.
That's very good. Okay, so I'm split between running back and wide receiver at the moment, but I'm feeling more confident about my running backs. I like DK and AJ, but they're both pretty young and have unknown quantities to them. So I'm probably going to lean towards wide receiver, unless there's some running back that really catches my eye, which there isn't at the moment. So let's look at the wide receivers. Stephon Diggs is exciting.
Yeah.
If that offense, I mean, yeah, what's his name? Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
If he can, he's been. It seems like each season he's gotten better. How many seasons? 2.
Yeah, this is going into his 3rd year.
Okay, so yeah, he's been steadily rising, and now he's got like a legit wide receiver. Who knows what could be with that? But then there's also Scary Terry, which I also.
You had him ranked pretty high.
I do. I don't even have Diggs on my list, so I'm going Scary Terry.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin. And then after that is Deshaun Watson, Zach Ertz, Raheem Mostert, Darren Waller, Stephon Diggs, Russell Wilson, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry. Now you're back up with your 6th round pick.
Very cool. And I think I'm probably going to go running back at this point. We're at the 60s. So I saw someone that I'm excited about. And that would be Cam Akers for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to be taking the fresh blood running back. Who knows what he'll be.
All right, then Marquise Brown goes right after. And, we've had a lot of rookie running backs going here. Just so everybody knows, we are going to be doing a rookie preview because, a lot of the rookies haven't jumped into our top 12s. We're also going to redo our top 12 and top 12 running back and quarterbacks so that we can get Zip's opinion on them too. My lists might change also just so I can talk about some different players. But now I'm on the clock with my 6th round pick. And speaking of rookie running backs, as my flex, so that's how I look at it. I have 2 running backs and 3 receivers, and I have a flex position. And I'm very comfortable drafting DeAndre Swift as my flex. Once I saw he was available, there really wasn't much deliberating between any of the receivers or tight ends that are still available.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you guys know, the names that are here, like that I would consider maybe Cortland Sutton, maybe Evan Ingram in the 6th, but I wasn't thinking about a quarterback here, so I'm just going to go DeAndre Swift.
I love it.
So now I have both my running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a flex position. So at this point, anybody I take after this is all depth. And that's important to have in these redraft leagues, especially whenever you only 5 bench spots. You want all 5 of your people to be somebody you could actually use more than anything else. And with taking DeAndre Swift, maybe I'd consider trying to handcuff him with Kerryon Johnson later just so I can get that backfield locked down. But I forgot to kind of go after who went after Swift here. After Swift was Deebo Samuel, who's injured, so we'll see how that works out. Michael Gallup, Cortland Sutton, Marlon Mack, Dak Prescott off the board, Sony Michel to start off the 7th round, Brandon Cooks, Darius Geis, Tyler Boyd, and Aaron Rodgers. And now I'm back up with my 7th round pick. And I'm actually going to go to the rookie well one more time just to get some more depth on my bench for running back. I'm going to take J.K. Dobbins in that Baltimore offense.
Thank you for that. Makes it easier for me.
Then right after Dobbins goes Ronald Jones. So who you got in your 7th round?
And honestly, at this point, I'm kind of at a crossroads. I really have no idea, so I'm going just down the list to see what names pop out at me. And I'm doing this live, so bear with me.
Okay. Say some names that you're thinking here.
I'm really not seeing anyone yet. Philip Lindsay is the first one that kind of stands out.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of doing that again to make sure, and it looks like that is my favorite name.
He's a player so nice they named him twice with 2 first names.
Philip Lindsay. And because of that little nursery rhyme, I'm going to take him and see what he grows up to be.
Are you worried at all about the addition of Melvin Gordon?
No, because I'm kind of just hoping he plays the exact role that Austin Eckler did, and I'd
Okay.
be fine with that.
Yeah,
Uh,
Eckler was still a force for fantasy even with Melvin Gordon there. All right, so some players that went after Philip Lindsay is Devontae Parker, who had a big year last year. He finally broke out. Will Fuller, the forever injured Will Fuller. Zips tight end one before he quickly retracted, Rob Gronkowski. Damian Williams went, so we have two Chiefs backs drafted. Matt Ryan to start off the eighth, then Julian Edelman, Darius Slayton, and Evan Ingram. Now you're back up with your 8th round pick.
Now, what I'm most disappointed about is Darius Slayton going 2 picks before me.
Oh yeah,
I would have taken that. I like Darius Slayton, and so obviously that meant I want a wide receiver. And the one that attracts me the most is going to be McCall Hardman or Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Or CD Lamb. I mean, he's a complete mystery, but I would love to have him on my team, just in case. Let me look at tight ends real quick, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Noah Fant, Austin Hooper's there, and I'm a big
That's
fan
your
of
number
him.
3.
Oh, boy. Maybe I'll take... You know what? I'm going to take Austin Hooper.
Okay.
I'm going to do something... Yeah, that seems like a fine spot for a tight end.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to go receiver here just because I have, 4 running backs and 3 receivers. So I'm going to even that out before I look at a tight end or a quarterback. Just to give you some names of the quarterbacks that are here is Josh Allen, Drew Brees, Carson Wentz, which are solid picks for redraft format.
Mm-hmm.
Tight ends that are still here are Hunter Henry, Noah Fant, Tyler Higbee. Again, solid picks. But I just would feel more comfortable with the way I've constructed this team if I can get one more receiver. And I'm going to go to the well of that Kansas City offense, somebody coming into their second year. I'm going to take McCall Hardman. He's once I'm looking at these names here, Marvin Jones Jr. is always a solid player. He's not the sexiest pick, but with Detroit, he's a solid player. Deontay Johnson, I answered a question about him on an earlier show. I just don't know how to rate him with him coming back for, Big Ben didn't really play with him much last year. So I'm going to go ahead and take McCall Hardman.
Hey, I know that's a good pick because that was who I almost picked.
Yep. So after McCall Hardman goes Kerryon Johnson, Josh Allen, Latavius Murray, Carson Wentz, Deontay Johnson, Matt Breida to start off the 9th, then Hunter Henry, Marvin Jones Jr., Drew Brees, Jordan Howard, and then I'm back up with my 6th pick of the 9th round. And this is where I'm going to actually go to the tight end well, and I'm going to take somebody I have ranked pretty decently. I'm going to go ahead and take Tyler Higbee here. I just like the offense they run, and I feel more comfortable getting one of the tight ends I have ranked within my top 8 here in the 9th round. I didn't reach, in my opinion, and I'll be happier with that pick in the long run.
I like it. For me, I'm going back to wide receiver after taking a tight end. I want to, so I instantly see that CD Lamb is still available. And he seems like more, I don't know, I feel like maybe Jerry Jeudy might be more of a sure thing. But CD Lamb is exciting to me. So I'm leaning towards Lamb. But I also love Christian Kirk. Yeah, I think it's between those two, though. So Christian Kirk and CD Lamb, and I'm going to go with, this is it. This is how it goes. I'm going CD Lamb.
Okay. And between those 2 picks, Tom Brady went. I should add that in.
Oh,
and
yes.
Right after Lamb goes Keyshawn Vaughn, the rookie running back out of Tampa Bay, Alexander Madison, Emmanuel Sanders, Christian Kirk, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, James White, and Darrell Henderson. So you're back up with your 10th round pick.
Okay. And I have not planned for anything, so let's see. I see Zach Moss. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And he's at number 130, which we're at 112. Baker Mayfield. I could consider a QB here. Doug Jones, Matthew Stafford. I haven't really thought about who I'd want. So that's interesting. You know what? I'm going to go crazy and take another tight end. I don't even care. Hayden Hurst, 117.
There you go. In between there goes Jared Cook. And now I'm back up with my 10th round pick. And what I'm looking for here is just depth players. If one of my top starters either underperforms or gets injured, I want somebody who I can slide into that starting role and actually feel comfortable with it. And right off the bat, I see Tariq Cohen, who is not the sexiest of picks, but a couple years ago, he had a breakout year in that Nagy offense, and then they just quit using him the same way. They need to get him out of the backfield and let him catch the ball. They need to get the ball in his hands in space, run him across and jet sweeps, in my opinion. But if I have a running back go down and I need to slide somebody in as my flex or, my running back too, I would feel comfortable doing it with Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen always has that potential.
Yep. Then after Cohen goes Ruggs, John Brown, Jamison Crowder, Baker Mayfield, who you're thinking about, Matthew Stafford, Sterling Shepard, Mike Williams, Sammy Watkins, Alshon Jeffrey, and Daniel Jones. And I'm back up with my 11th round pick. And I have a general rule of thumb in mock drafts or in drafts in general where I try not to take my quarterback until after the 10th round. I have two solid backup running backs. I have two solid backup receivers. Oh wait, I only have one backup receiver. Maybe that's the well I need to go. I kind of misguided. So I'm going to get one more receiver before I go ahead and take a quarterback. Because I was looking at the quarterbacks that are here, and I would be choosing between Roethlisberger, Cousins, Goff, Locke. They're all players that I wouldn't mind having, but at the same time, I would just feel more comfortable with one more receiver in there. I'm going to take probably, let's see here. We have Preston Williams, Anthony Miller, Justin Jefferson, and Robbie Anderson are the names that I would be thinking about. I'm actually going to go with Preston Williams here. He had a good year before he got hurt last year, and he could be having on a bounce back with another year of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's a good pick.
And then after goes Anthony Miller, and then now you're up with your 11th round pick.
And I'm thinking about I'm looking and I'm thinking wide receivers what I maybe need to strengthen just a bit. I got a lot of young talent. And with young talent comes unknown, we don't know. Are they going to have a bounce back year or a fall back year? Who knows?
Yeah.
But then it's all young talent that's available, so I'd only be adding with young talent. But the one name that really stands out is Jalen Reagor. I know how Dirt feels about Jalen Reagor, but that he has the most opportunity out of these young. Well, Justin Jefferson.
See, Justin Jefferson's taking over for Stephon Diggs.
Right, yeah.
And Stephon Diggs had a big market share there, and he has Adam Thielen playing on the other side. So who are you going to double, Thielen or Jefferson?
I mean, that's true. Let's see, that's tough. I am really torn here. I am going to go with Jalen Reagor.
Terrible pick.
That's for Garrett.
So afterwards is going to be Tony Pollard, Dallas Goedert, Ben Roethlisberger, Chase Edmonds. Let's see here. That Chase Edmonds rounds out the 11th, and the 12th is Zach Moss, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Drew Lock. So all those quarterbacks I was deliberating between are pretty much gone.
Yeah, same for me. So what is left? We got Jared Goff, Tannehill, Burrow, Bridgewater, Garoppolo, Rivers, Carr, Darnold. Okay. Slim pickings. I don't know which one stands out to me. I think I would probably go with, and I'm probably taking a QB here.
Yeah.
I want to get one of these ones. One of these, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take Joe Burrow. Whatever.
Yeah. So after that goes Deshaun Watson. I'm also going to go QB here, and I'm going to think about who's the best quarterback that can get me the most points week to week. The options are Goff, Tannehill, Bridgewater. But who I'm going to go with actually is going to be Phillip Rivers. He's in a pass-happy system. He's got a bunch of new toys on the offense. And, being under Frank Reich, he could have a good year. He's old, but like I said, this is redraft. We're not worried about that. And then after,
real quick before we continue on, I gotta concede that was the better QB pick.
So after Phillip Rivers goes Mike Gesicki, Golden Tate, Jared Goff, Robbie Anderson, N'Keal Harry, Justin Jackson, T.J. Hawkinson. Well, I couldn't say that for some reason. Antonio Gibson, the running back out of Washington, Duke Johnson, Michael Pittman Jr., one of those new toys I was talking about for Phillip Rivers. And then now I'm back up. Now, here's my thought process also. Because Phillip Rivers is a question mark at the quarterback, and I have a solid lineup the whole way through, I'm actually going to take 2 quarterbacks to end this draft because it's my luck. If I don't start one of them, or if I don't want one of them, I can just cut them. I don't, if I have to cut a quarterback, I'm not that worried about it. And I'm actually going to go with Jared Stidham here. He has the question mark in New England, and he might not even be worth a redraft pick, but between the position players and how my team is set up, I'd rather have the chance of a quarterback who could, take off over a receiver who I'm just going to cut whenever the first wave of the waiver wire.
Solid pick. It's fun to take 2 QBs. I'm excited that you did that.
Yeah, so after that goes Carlos Hyde, and now you're back up with your last round pick.
Yeah, and here I figured what I'd want the most is probably an extra wide running back. And so I decided to take a look, and there was one name that really just stood out for me, and so it was pretty easy for me. I'm going to take Darrington Evans for Tennessee Titans for my last pick. And that's mainly because if he can emulate anything that like a good, what was his name? I'm blanking on his name.
Like Dion Lewis?
Yeah, Dion Lewis. Thank you.
Okay.
If he can just be like a young version of that, like when he was good, I'm excited for that potential.
Yeah. So after Darrington Evans goes Brashard Perryman, Tyrell Williams, Nyheim Hines, and then the last pick of the draft was Ryan Tannehill. All right, so I'm going to take a picture of these, and I'll just say my starting lineup, then you can say yours. So starting for my team, I have Phillip Rivers, Alvin Kamara, Chris Carson, Chris Godwin, Keenan Allen, Odell Beckham Jr., Tyler Higbee, DeAndre Swift, and then on my bench I have J.K. Dobbins, McCole Hardman, Tariq Cohen, Preston Williams, and Jared Stidham. I think I could go into that season and be pretty confident that I drafted a solid team that can get me wins. So what team did you finish with, and let me hear how you felt about it.
I'm excited to share. Let's see here. For QB, we got Joe Burrow. For the running backs, we got Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. Wide receivers, we got DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and Terry McLaurin. Tight end, we got Austin Hooper. And for my flex, I'm at Cam Akers. My bench has Phillip Lindsay, CeeDee Lamb, Hayden Hurst, Jalen Reagor, and Darrington Evans. Okay. And so yeah, it's a mixed bag, but I love the mysteries and what could happen. And I feel pretty well stacked, like even wise. Everyone, there's like a little backup for everyone, but yeah. Hopefully I can't have too many people flame out because I don't have a deep bench for either position.
All right. Well, like I said, we're going to tweet this out. We'll put a poll up there, and you guys can all vote. But other than that, I think we don't have a fan question this week. So if you guys actually want to send us any, you can get me on Twitter at DirtShingles. You can hashtag it AskDirt, hashtag it the Fantasy Football Burrito. However you guys want to get a hold of me. You can also just follow me, give me a like, give us a 5-star rating, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. We'd very appreciate it. Other than that, that's our show.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. Zip's actually going to become a regular, I think. You fans, our listeners loved him. So
I had no idea. This is news to me. Wow.
It's now the Dirt and Zip Fantasy Football Burrito.
I'm honored.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
You guys have a great week.